my name is Teacher Evelyn, and I work for VIP Kid. And I had an experience that is not uncommon with VIP Kid, and I wanted to share it with you. Now, this is my 4th time ever getting a 3rd apple. Getting 3 apples is not that big of a deal. It can be kind of sad, but the thing that was really difficult for me is that this parent, I believe mother, but it doesn't say, spent a long time writing about how much and why they hated how I taught. Now, I wasn't planning on making a video, but I think it's important for me to be honest with you guys about the highs and the lows with VIP Kid, because I always talk it up like it's the best job ever, and it is for me, but sometimes these things happen and they just like knock you off your feet. Now, this isn't translated perfectly, but I'm going to read it as is, and the idea is translated pretty well. And man, honestly, this parent, what they said was hurtful, and I was already having a really bad week. Like, it kind of just goes to show, like, you should just be kind to people because you don't know what they're going through. And another thing that was hard is, like, if you give me a 3 apple and say I look tired, like, that's justified. But, like, if you give me a 3 apple and you go on and on and on for a really long paragraph just because you don't like my teaching style, like, man, that hurts, you know? So basically, if you watched my video yesterday, I talked about the different styles of teachers. And I think that this parent is looking for a more minimalist teacher as far as props go, and a teacher who shuts their mouth and lets the student talk. I'm gonna read the feedback and then I'll defend myself. But nothing that she said is totally untrue. I'm gonna say she because I'm assuming parent. But look how long, like, guys, I never read feedbacks that long, like, for, like, positive message of, like, you're such a good teacher. So why do I have to receive such a long feedback about being an awful teacher? You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just gonna read it. Sorry. I figured I should be honest with you guys that sometimes, like, you get bad feedbacks, and that's kind of a bummer thing about this job. Sorry. Like, the thing is, I tried, like, to teach this class to the best of my ability, and this parent just, like, not only disliked it and was dissatisfied, this parent hated me, like, with what they said. Sorry. It's just, like, what's your issue, lady? Like, anyway, I didn't realize someone could be so passionate about hating me when I'm trying to just do my job. But anyway, it says, the whole class felt like it was a teacher's individual show, and they all said that they didn't give the children much chance to say. They are still busy finding props, and they couldn't grasp the rhythm of the classroom. After more than 10 minutes, they even sang songs at least 5 or 6 times before the class, resulting in a later time being tense. Focus only on speaking, not enough interaction with child. Do not give the child enough time to complete the classroom instructions to move on to the next step. For example, looking for different. The child is still looking. She should start speaking after the end of the speech, as well as pronunciation. Behind the whiteboard exercises, She did not give instructions to write her own FGHI. The student was writing ABC on different frequencies. In short, the class was not satisfactory. Okay. She obviously wants a refund. So I respectfully responded to her and I said, I'm sorry to hear that you were not satisfied with my teaching. I hope that you are successful with finding a teacher that meets your expectations. Respectfully, Teacher Evelyn. That's what I said. Because, lady, don't book me again. If you hate my guts, I don't want another paragraph of you tearing me apart. Now, nothing that she said was inaccurate. And as I'm reading this, I'm realizing too, she's talking about the slide where they find the differences. The reason that I switched the slide to the next slide is because the student found all of the differences. So if she was still looking for differences, there weren't any more. Okay? That's why I switched the slide. The slide, there's a blank slide, what she's talking about with writing the letters. There's a blank slide, and sometimes I skip it. Sometimes it has suggestions that you could like draw a cat if the lesson's about a cat. This one, I chose to practice writing letters with her. And since the lesson taught FGHI, I wrote FGHI, and she started writing A, B, C, D, E, F, and we ran out of space, and we were running out of class time. It was almost the end, so I was like, okay, well, we practiced writing letters. That slide is not required. Like, it's a blank slide. So I went to the next slide, which is the ending song. What she's talking about, reaching for props too much. Okay, so this class was a very basic level class. Like, slide after slide is teaching, hello, I'm Mike. Hello, I'm Meg. So what I use is I use my Meg and Mike props. So I get them out. But then there's another slide that has like Teacher Sarah. So I get out my Teacher Sarah prop. And then there's another slide that has Dino. And they're just saying the same thing. They're just saying, hello, my name's Dino. What's your name? Hello, my name's Meg. What's your name? Hello, I'm 5 years old. How are you? Hello, I'm 7 years old. How are you? And how old are you? And so it's the same stuff over and over again. And so I do sing the song several times. It just has a hello song, an ABC song, and an ending song. And if I just sing the songs one time, we would get through with the class so quickly. So what I do is I use my lion puppet, and what I do is I sing the song, the ABC song, super slow with the student one time. And then my lion puppet sings it really fast and funny and makes the student laugh and more comfortable in class. And then we sing the ABC song again. But what I realized when I sang it a third time is I realized that my student, she was still gaining confidence, and she was still wanting to sing along with me. So I sang the song again so that she could get more comfortable and sing the song more. And I rewarded her. I gave her a gold trophy because she sang so well. But and it says I was spending too much time like using my whiteboard, like wearing, this is behind the whiteboard. I don't know what it means by that. Like, if it has a couple vocabulary words, I hold up the whiteboard and use it. Like, I don't get what her issue is with that. And she said I spent too long on the songs. So if I ever got this student again, I now know constructive criticism. I know what this parent's looking for. If I had known before the class what this parent was looking for, I would have taught the class differently. But we just don't know. Different parents are looking for different things. I was teaching according to the expectation of that specific class and the abilities of my student. I had a really shy, quiet student, so I was being entertaining in order to draw that out of her, in order to make her relax and comfortable. But the parents were wanting me to have a more, like, stop with the props, lady. get my student to talk and shut your mouth. Like, this is what the parent's basically telling me. At least that's what I'm getting from it. This parent wanted their child to have more opportunities to speak more. And what I was doing was I was trying to be entertaining, teaching the lesson in order to get the student to talk more. But that wasn't the preferred style of this parent. So like I said yesterday in my video about different styles of teachers, I tend to be more of a prop queen, but when I get feedbacks like this, I tone myself down, and I would not use more than one puppet for this student. I have lots of classes that I don't even use my puppets in, but when it's a super low level class that every single slide is teaching the same vocabulary over again, I use some puppets to make it more interesting, to like liven up the class and lengthen it. She said that I was rushed in some of the later slides, and I honestly don't have a recollection of that, but she might be right. Everything else she said was accurate, just I'm thinking that these things aren't so horrible, but she's thinking that I'm just a clown. So this is a parent that would like a more serious teacher, and I'm a more silly teacher with lower levels. So I think what we can draw out of this is you can't make everyone happy. Keep doing your best. Don't let bad Apple reviews knock you off your feet. And when you receive criticism, even when it's hateful, try to draw out of it with the constructive criticism that's hidden within the hatred. Maybe I'm just sensitive, but when someone goes on and writes a book about how much they hate my teaching style, it makes me a little bit defensive, because, okay, when a parent gives me a low Apple rating and says I yawned, like, lady, that's valid, I yawned, you're right. But when they're just tearing me apart and I pour my heart out in the class, it's a little offensive, lady. Like, she obviously wants her money back for the class, and I'm wondering if VIP Kid's going to give it to her. I grew up with an individual who shall remain unnamed, who definitely was this kind of person who complained in order to get discounts or money. And I don't know if that's what's going on here, but this person obviously hated my style. But yeah. So if you think that I'm just a perfect teacher that never gets bad Apple ratings, there you go. This parent hated my guts and tore me apart in a message. But I can look at other Apple ratings, and I mean, I've had 417 people give me 5 Apple ratings, so I guess I was due to be torn apart by somebody. You can't be a 5 Apple teacher for everybody every time. Anyway, you know what I'm going to do with this? I'm going to erase it, because I already got what I wanted to learn from that mad person, and I'm just going to move on with my day. I'm about to teach my classes. I'm going to choose for this not to ruin my day. Feel free to comment in the comments. Have you ever received a low Apple rating? Have you ever been torn apart by a parent? It can be hurtful, man. Man, it can knock you off your feet when you think you're doing a good job as a teacher. You know, it's helping me stay humble. All right. Happy teaching. Bye.